Welcome back. It's been a very interesting learning journey, right? Don't forget this is a playlist, so you should check the link in the video description to catch up with everything we've been learning around Microsoft Fabric. In this video, I'm going to show you how to ingest data wherever it is stored online, and we're going to use Microsoft Azure SQL database, for example. In reality, this data is not just on an exe file in your own local machine. It's actually going to be in a server somewhere, which could be on-premise or hosted in the cloud. And that is why I'm going to use this illustration to set up a server on Azure SQL, Azure Cloud. We'll set it up, we'll restore a database on it, and connect that database to our Fabric environment using the Dataflow Gen2. It's going to be a really interesting and exciting one. So let's get started. Let us ingest data now into our Lakehouse, but coming from an online database or data source. Here, I'm going to use Azure. So I already have Azure's subscription. In case you don't have one, you need to create an account and have one. But let's see how it works. Traditionally or conventionally, businesses have their data either stored on premise or in the cloud. And I'm going to simulate that cloud structure here by spinning up a SQL database and loading the light version of AdventureWorks database. And we could then ingest that into our Lakehouse. Then we go in the next video, we'll also check with our on-premise data source. How can we get data directly from on-premise into our Lakehouse? So let's create a resource, and this my resource is going to be SQL database. I'm going to click on create. By default, it's going to find out where my subscription is and my resource group. I don't have a resource group, so I have to create a new one, and I'm going to create this. I call this Fabric RG resource group. So click OK. So a new resource group has been created. What's the name of this database? Let's just call it FabricDB. FabricDB. And what is the details now? I don't have the server details, so I have to create new one. And say server name, I'm just going to call it Fabric as well, FabricDB. Cannot contain lower. Your server name can contain only lowercase, so I just have to keep it as FabricDB. See that? Where am I putting this? It's US. I'm not really mindful of the location. But of course, when you are deploying your database, you be careful of the location that is closer to your users. There are many recommendations here. In case you have user globally, you might want to have replication and all those things. But let's say we're good here. And how do I want to authenticate? Use only SQL, Azure SQL authentication. Set login name. I'm going to call this Fabric Ola. And I have to set my password. So everything is fine. I'm going to click on OK. It's reviewing this, and if I'm OK, then I can click create. But first, you need to just check what is happening here. This guy is going to be $372 estimated per month. So I need to change the plan from general purpose to just something that it's easy for me to use, which I'm going to use this basic for less demanding workload. It's just $4.9 per month. That's pretty affordable. And if I want to ingest my data, I might keep it. You can scale. That's the advantage of cloud. You can scale up and scale down. So let me keep it as premium so that the ingestion can be very fast for me. This DTU, I might want to move this. The data max, let me just keep this at 30. Enable read scale out. Yes. Would you like to make the database zone redundant? No, not really. So I'm okay here. This guy is $400 something US, but I just want you to ingest. It will be faster. But if I keep it at that low performance, it might be slower, and if there's no faster internet network, it might affect it. So I'm going to click on apply. So I have it here. Don't worry, I can always tune this down. I don't need any form of backup and redundancy. I just keep this as local. And coming over here to networking, connectivity method, public endpoint. I want to keep it at public endpoint. I'll be able to gain access to it. And firewall rules, I'm going to do all those things here. Allow Azure services and resources to access this server. Yes. Add current IP address. Yes. So that I'll be able to connect to this. Connection policy, I want to touch this. I'm not touching this yet. This version is fine for my security 1.2. Then over here under security, start free trial. Not now, I might start, I might not start. Let me start free trial. Additional settings here, use existing data, none. Do I want to use a backup data that I have as backup? This is how you can restore AdventureWorks database. I have a video, you can check the video description that shows you how to transfer your data that you have on your on-premise database to cloud. And that's how to get close to this technology. If you are not learning them this way, you won't really know how they work. So, but let's use a sample data, which is actually AdventureWorks Lite version. I'm going to click on OK. Automatically it's going to install that database and we can interact with it. So I'm going to click on review and create in case I want to tag and do anything. I'm not tagging, I'm just going to review and create and click create. So while creating is going to validate, remember this guy is very costly, $456 per month. I don't even have that up to that credit here. So but it's for months. Once I'm done assessing and ingesting this data into my data source, I can then quickly scale it down. I just need the speed that and the elasticity that comes with that plan. You can always follow the progress here. You see submitting deployment, the activities, everything that is taking place. You see resource group will be created, every other networking, everything will also be created. Cool, right? Okay, so this is what I have. Is still being created. The SQL server will be created. The database will be created. It has accepted the name, and all those things are just currently in deployment. I'm going to wait for some seconds and we'll come back here. My deployment is still in progress, but as you can see, lot of asset has been created. A resource group has been created. SQL server created and confirm OK. Database now created. You need to have a server before you can now put a database there. So a SQL server was created first, and then database is being created, which is currently synchronizing. What is taking this longer time is because it's restoring or putting on top of that database the light version of the AdventureWorks database. Once this is completed, we will explore it briefly and go ahead and ingest it into our Lakehouse. Now the deployment is completed. It took some minutes, so I had to pause this. You can see right now it's done, and the next step is go to resource. So when I click on go to resource, it's taking me to my SQL server, which is FabricDB, and inside FabricDB take me to the database, which is FabricDB. I named them the same thing. That's why you are seeing that. Okay, and what else do we need to do? The query editor is currently in preview, and that's what we use to actually query and work with the data. So let me click on it and let's see what we have there. We need to sign in with my password, so I'm going to put my password here. If it is correct, it's going to load me. I'm not sure why a password is not okay. So my IP address, I think, is changing. I'm going to click allow. So it's updating my server firewall rules. Update successful, then click OK. Yep, I have access now. All right, so this is it. Within my SQL database, you see now SQL on cloud, on Azure. I have tables, and these are the tables coming directly from AdventureWorks Lite version. That's why I see this LT. And we have views. The views that are already there. These are the views. Are there any stored procedure? There are few stored procedures, which are also here. System stored procedures, all that stored procedure, they are here. So what do we want to ingest? I think I should ingest the tables and the views. So it depends. So let's go ahead let's go back here. I can use my Dataflow Gen2 to do this injection. Of course, I can also use my data pipeline. So which of them should we use? Let's use our Dataflow Gen2. It's closer to you, and I'm going to click on it. Since my data is coming from a different source, I'm going to choose something, get data from another source. And right here, we're going to look for Azure. And in Azure, I'm going to say Azure SQL Database. That's exactly where we want to get our data from. So I'm going to click on it. It's asking for my server details. So for that, I need to go back to networking. Okay, I have to just go back to my, not the database now, to the server itself. So to go back to the server, if I go home, I don't need to save any query. I'm not writing any query. This is the database. This is the resource group. If I click all here, I will say within the resource group, you will find the server. So this is the resource group. You will find the server, you find the database. server is here, and you're going to see the networking detail. All I need right here is the server name, so I'm going to click on it, and that's what I need to put right here. What database am I connecting to? It's not a must. It's going to reveal all the database that are there. I don't need data gateway for this at all because it's not on-premise. And basic authentication method is going to be username and password. And I'm going to put my username, which is Fabric Ola, and put the password. When I click next, it's going to authenticate. Try to connect to data source and authenticate. Is it true? If it's true, then I will be able to see as many database that I have on that server. You see, database that I have on my Azure SQL database is Fabric, and when I select Fabric, I have so many tables here. You can see all this. What you can see right here, they are views, and these are tables, and these are those functions that we have right there, which are stored procedures. So for here, I can select as many of those tables that I want to load. Okay, I'm going to select all these tables because we'll be using them in analysis, in our data warehouse, and every other thing. Do I need the views? Yes, I need views. These views are going to be helpful as well. We have all these error log, bit versions. I don't need them. Okay, so I'm going to click on create. You see, right here, we've connected. You can see as many tables as we have. Where should we put all these data? Am I appending any of them? I'm not appending them. I'm just going to create all of them as tables. There's really no need to append anyone. So first, destination. Which destination am I choosing for the first one? And you can see all the records here. The tables are here. Everything is here about them, including the relationship that might exist with another table. That's it. Those are the additional extra relationship table. So I'm going to click the data source that I'm adding this guy to. It's going to be added to Lakehouse. Click next. I'm taking that to my Fabric because I'm creating a new table, not existing table. Okay, this is the table name. I'm going to select Fabric because Fabric is where I want it to be stored. Okay, that guy is called says LT address. Okay, I'm going to add it. It's a new table. It's going to replace, if it exists, then it has created all the columns. This guy, now, this is the question. This column cannot be included because it has a complex type. So it's either I extend it by breaking it up and see what exactly is there or not, because the table, relationship table into tables. So I'm just going to leave them. The ones that can be imported, let them be imported. Save settings. So sales table will now be written to a new table. But if we come over here to the second one, you see there's no destination. So what you've done is not for all the tables. It's just for sales table. So I need to add destination to this. And I'm going to do the same thing. Add destination, Lakehouse, go next. Is a new table, and this is the name of the table for customer. I'm just going to select my Fabric, Learning Fabric workspace, and select Practical Fabric and click next. And of course, right here you might see similar thing as well. I'm just going to click Save Settings, and I'm going to pause this video now and do it for all of the tables so that I can speed things up. Awesome. Took me quite some time and I get so bored, but I had to add all the sources one by one. So I'm done adding them. If you find a better way to do it faster, please share. And of course, over time, as we get used to this platform, find a better way to also do this faster, we're also going to share. So I'm going to click on publish right now. And as usual, and as expected, our Dataflow 2 is currently loading. And once it's done loading, then we start refreshing. So the advantage here is this data source will keep in touch with this data that we have right here in our database. To keep in touch there. Okay, but also remember that SQL database that we have, this is Fabric that we have. I'm expecting data to load faster because there is the pricing tier is very high. It's very high. And we also have, this is the server name. Don't worry, this thing will change. I'm going to close this source once I'm done with this demo. Okay, we're still going to stay, and that might take some time. So let me just give this a pause. No, it's not loading, it's just refreshing now. Amazing. So your internet network also matters. I just want to mention this quickly because while I was trying this video, I had gone some minutes, but was using my Wi-Fi, which I always trust all the years, but it didn't deliver. I have to switch to my mobile network and use that to hotspot to my system, and that's when everything moved faster, and that's what I'm even using for all of this. Okay. So while this is still refreshing, let's go back to our Lakehouse and see if there are any form of tables that are already there. Okay, I can see some tables, about 13 are currently, settling in, but they're going to be in the data format. That is the format they are in folder. If I open this sales table folder, I can see package file, and that's the data log. Meanwhile, they should be seen as tables. So they will turn, once the refresh is done, it's going to automatically turn all of these guys back to table. Okay, so just to let you know what is happening. So it's because that open format can be read by all. I think it's done now. Yes. Woo! We have all of these. We have amazing table in the Lakehouse. Remember, this is a journey. We've not got into where you start engineering and really, leveraging this data to suit the need of the business. We've not gotten there. Okay. Right. So we have our tables now, and of course we can relate with this. This is where when I go to my Lakehouse and switch to SQL endpoint, this is where you appreciate the value of new visual query. Because new visual query will allow you to join these tables together to create relationship, and just because you have multiple tables, that is when they will make sense. So when I click on new visual query now, I need to drag my data here. To build a query, drag your tables. So let's, for example, customer table here, and which other table is this? Let me see this table. This customer address, and this is customer. So I have customer address, and this is another one. This customer table. Okay, I have customer address. I have a customer table. I can link them together. And if you want to join and merge columns, for example, if you want to merge column or combine data or transform, you can. Let's see. Choose column. For example, let's say combine, merge queries. And when you are merging queries, when I select the first table, let's say table 1, because there are two tables I have here, say customer, you will see under the merge, the normal join, you can see use case now. You see the different, do you want to do right join, outer join, what kind of join do you want to do? And for me, this is customer address. I'm joining customer address with sales customer. And I want to do, that should be right, because I need everything from the customer data which is more exhaustive, and the address is just not as exhaustive as that. So right outer join seems to be what I need here. And I say full join, that also works. But this to show you how you can use your UI UX to do this activity. And I can click OK, for example. Please join the keys. Okay, I need to select the keys that will join them. Customer address and customer ID. Customer ID, customer ID. Yep. And estimating match based on this. The selected matches 417 of this. Of course, what that means, let's switch here and let's see. 407. What is saying that I can only match some address to 407 customers. Others is not there. So what that means is going to see about 440 customers with records but without address. If you use this right outer join, and that's what it means. If I click OK, so it has merged them to a bigger table, and that table is right here. And if I click here to expand, these are the columns that I can see in addition to the original data. I can download the Excel file, I can visualize the results, and you can continue to do additional transformation here. This is just a test. I've not really checked this out, but I'm just trying to look at it for the very first time. Don't worry, there will be more use cases on what you can do with them. The goal of this Lakehouse and the whole thing is to get our data here from different sources, and I think we're achieving that gradually. So because I don't really need all of this, I'm going to delete the query, because it's a query you are creating, but you are using drag and drop to create your query. That's amazing, isn't it? Unable to save query. I don't need to save the query, so I'm going to close. Yep. Come back to my table. Select my table. I'm interested in this. Okay, good. So for me, in case you have this and you're trying to say, oh, how can I address this? You can come back here, go to pricing tier and scale down. And that way you scale down, and if you truly want to delete everything which is advised, you can then go ahead and delete your resource group. So I'm just going back to this basic, which will reduce everything to 4. You can see activity has started. It shows the speed and the resources that was used while I was ingesting data. It was fast, it served the purpose, but also you need to scale down to $5, and I'm going to click apply. So it starts scaling down my database. Okay, I'm going to delete the resource later. So I'm done with that. And I also go, the last part here is to ingest data from my system. I have AdventureWorks here on my local computer, and I have series of databases here. I have AdventureWorks Lite version 2019. I have AdventureWorks Data Warehouse 2019. I have AdventureWorks 2019, which is the OLTP, online transaction processing part. It has a lot of tables, way more than the data warehouse. The data warehouse has been streamlined, has been modeled. The engineering work has been done to suit the fact and dimension, and that's what you can see right here. But which is suit for online analytics, processing. Meanwhile, the AdventureWorks itself is just regular data, the way the business CBA or whatever ERP they are using, the way it is,